What if the emptiness you feel right now is not the loss of a person, but the loss of a habit? Have you ever noticed how the quietest moments are the loudest? When the morning coffee is poured, when the keys turn in the lock at the end of a long day, or when the screen goes dark at night, you reach out, purely out of instinct, and your hand meets nothing but air. The routine is broken. The familiar structure is gone. If you have ever felt stuck, anxious, emotionally exhausted, or entirely lost in the aftermath of a parting, this is for you. Stay until the end, because the final lesson may change the way you see this pain forever. You are forced to rebuild a life from the fragments of a shared existence. Every corner of your daily routine feels like a ghost of what used to be. It is exhausting. You wake up with a heaviness in your chest, wondering how to move through a day that was once perfectly aligned with someone else. You think you are missing them. You think this unbearable, suffocating weight is love trying to find its way back to where it belongs. But here is the truth few people want to face. Most of your suffering right now is not caused by the absence of the person. It is caused by the sudden shattering of your comfort. You are not just grieving a relationship, you are grieving a rhythm. You are grieving predictability. In Buddhist thought, much of our pain arises from our deep attachment to the familiar. We cling tightly to what we know, even when it is no longer there, because the unknown feels like a vast, terrifying void. We mistake the structure of our lives for our very identity. When that structure collapses, we feel as though we have collapsed with it. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that attachment creates an illusion of permanence in a world that is constantly shifting. We suffer because we demand that the river stop flowing. Imagine a bird that has lived its entire life inside a beautiful, familiar cage. Every day, the bird knows exactly where the water is, where the seeds are, and exactly what time the warmth of the sun will hit the metal bars. One day, the door is opened, the cage is gently taken away, the bird is entirely free. Yet, instead of flying into the endless sky, it sits on the ground, terrified, staring at the empty space where the bars used to be. The bird misses the cage. It mistakes the cage for safety. This is what happens when a bond ends and you are left alone. To reconstruct your mornings, your evenings, and your weekends, you are staring at the empty space where the cage used to be. You miss the simple good morning text. You miss the predictable plans for Friday night. You miss the silence in the passenger seat of your car, being filled by a familiar presence. You miss knowing exactly what the next day would hold. Ask yourself, think about your own life right now. Are you agonizing over the loss of their specific soul, or are you mourning the profound loss of your daily routine? What are you afraid will happen if you simply let the old routine go? Pause. Breathe. Let that sink in. Observe the feeling of missing them and gently ask yourself if it is actually the feeling of missing certainty. Do not judge the feeling. Just watch it rise. You do not have to rebuild the entire house today. You only need to lay one brick. You only need to breathe through this single moment. You are not powerless. You do not have to chase what is already leaving. Recognizing the difference between missing a person and missing a pattern is the first critical step toward true healing. Because peace is not found in desperately recreating what was lost. It is found in having the courage to stand quietly in the open space. But letting go of the illusion of comfort is only the first step. And this is where the next truth begins. 2. The illusion of comfort. Here is the truth few people want to face. The safety you are desperately mourning was never actually permanent to begin with. When a relationship ends, the mind goes into a state of panic. You find yourself replaying conversations, wondering where things went wrong, and clinging strictly to the memory of how things used to be. You miss having someone there to text when your workday goes terribly. You miss the background noise of another person in the kitchen. You miss the simple, quiet assurance that someone was walking through life beside you. This is the comfort you crave so deeply. But what you are truly missing is the shield that protected you from your own loneliness. In Buddhist thought, this is the root of our deepest suffering. We take something that is inherently fragile, another person, a relationship, a shared daily routine, and we treat it as if it will last forever. We attach our inner peace to external conditions. But Buddhism reminds us of the reality of impermanence. Nothing in the physical or emotional world stays exactly the same. When we rely entirely on something outside of ourselves for our comfort, we are building a house on shifting sand. The moment the wind changes, the house falls, and you are left standing in the rain, feeling entirely exposed. Imagine a traveler walking along a long, difficult path. For years, they have leaned their entire weight on a sturdy wooden walking stick. They never took a step without it. It became their balance, their support, their ultimate comfort. But one day, the stick suddenly snaps. The traveler falls to the ground, terrified and unable to move forward. They lie in the dirt, weeping over the broken wood, believing they can no longer walk. But the truth is, their legs are perfectly fine. They are not broken. They have simply forgotten how to stand on their own. This is exactly what it feels like when you lose the daily comfort of a partner. You use their presence to balance your own life. You use their reassurance to soothe your anxieties, to give your weekends a sense of purpose, and to distract you from the quiet fears resting in your own mind. You outsourced your comfort, and now the sudden silence of your life forces you to face the very things you were avoiding. You are not devastated just because they are gone. You are devastated because you must now hold your own weight. Think about your own life. What are you still holding on to? Are you truly longing for their specific soul, or are you just terrified of the quiet room? Ask yourself, is the memory you keep replaying bringing you peace, or is it only feeding your fear of the unknown? Pause, breathe, feel the ground beneath your feet. Observe the fear without letting it pull you under. Let the feeling of exposure rise without making it your identity. You are supporting your own weight now, and you are not falling. You are far stronger than the comfort you lost. You do not need to chase what is already leaving to feel safe again, because the pain you feel is not the end of your foundation. It is the realization that the foundation was always meant to be within you. But letting go of the illusion of external safety forces us to confront why we hold on so tightly in the first place. And this is where the next truth begins. 3. The suffering of attachment. What if the harder you try to hold on to what is gone, the further peace moves away? Here is the truth few people want to face. The tighter you hold, the more you suffer. You wake up and immediately reach for your phone, hoping for a message that will never arrive. You find yourself clinging to the relics of the relationship. You walk past a certain street corner and your chest tightens. You hear a familiar song and your breath catches. You are living in a museum of what used to be, acting as the sole caretaker of memories that are gathering dust. You try to force a chapter to continue when the book has already been closed. The pain is sharpest when you compare the stark reality of your quiet Sunday morning to the ghost of the Sundays you used to share. You are trying to control a timeline that has already ended. In Buddhist thought, one of the deepest lessons is that attachment causes suffering. We suffer not simply because things change, but because we fiercely resist that change. We demand that the temporary become permanent. We believe that if we just hold on tight enough, we can freeze time. But Buddhism reminds us that non-attachment is the only path to true peace. Non-attachment does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean the love you felt was an illusion. It simply means accepting that everything arises and everything eventually passes away. When we cling desperately to an experience whose time has passed, we turn natural sadness into prolonged agony. Imagine trying to hold a handful of clear, cool water from a fast-flowing river. If you gently cup your hands and leave them open, the water rests peacefully in your palms. It reflects the light. But the moment you panic, the moment you tightly clench your fists to trap the water and make it yours forever, it instantly slips through your fingers. The harder you squeeze, the less you hold. Soon, your hands are entirely empty, damp with what is gone, and all you feel is the deep ache of the clenched fist. This is exactly how you are treating your past right now. You are clenching your fists around a relationship that has naturally slipped away. You obsess over old conversations. You analyze every mistake, and you exhaust yourself trying to figure out how to force the water back into your hands. The pressure to fix it, to hold on, to replay the ending until it makes sense, this is what is truly draining your spirit. You are fighting a war with reality, and reality will always win. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, are you holding on because the memory brings you joy, or because you are simply terrified of opening your hands? Is this relentless thought bringing you peace or feeding your fear? Pause, breathe, gently unclench your fists. Observe the thought without following it. Let the sorrow rise without making it your identity. You do not need to fight the reality of today. Stop trying to force the door open. Let that sink in. You do not have to chase what is already leaving, because peace only returns when you finally stop fighting the current and allow your hands to open. But opening your hands means you must finally learn to sit in the quiet space you have been running from. And this is where the next truth begins. What if the silence you are running from is the exact place where your healing begins? There is a strange kind of freedom in the quiet, but at first, it only feels like a heavy punishment. When the door closes and you are finally alone, the silence rushes in like a physical weight. You notice the absence of their footsteps in the hallway. You notice the lack of a familiar notification sound lighting up your phone. To escape it, you immediately turn on a screen, play a podcast, or call anyone who will listen. You flood your environment with background noise, because the quiet feels utterly deafening. You are terrified of sitting alone in a room where the only voice left is your own. In Buddhist thought, we are often reminded that avoiding our pain only multiplies our suffering. We spend our lives running from silence, believing that if we stop moving, the sorrow will finally catch us. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that mindfulness is the quiet practice of staying. It is the practice of sitting softly with whatever arises, without the desperate need to change it, distract from it, or flee. The discomfort you feel in the empty apartment is not actually the silence. It is your own restless mind, thrashing wildly against the reality of the present moment. Imagine a small, shallow lake immediately after a violent storm. The heavy wind has churned the water, pulling up dirt and sand from the bottom, until everything is entirely cloudy and dark. If you want the water to become clear again, you cannot step in and try to push the dirt away with your hands. The more you stir the water, the muddier it becomes. The only way the lake finds its clarity is if you do absolutely nothing. You simply sit on the shore and allow the water to be still. Eventually, slowly, the mud settles to the bottom on its own, and the calm surface becomes a perfect, still mirror, reflecting the night sky. This is exactly what you must do with your mind when your daily routine is suddenly broken. Right now, your thoughts are entirely churned up by the heavy storm of loss. You are frantically trying to organize your new life, overthinking every empty hour of the weekend, and desperately seeking distractions to fill the void. You are constantly stirring the water, But true healing requires you to simply stop stirring. It requires you to walk into your quiet room, leave the screens dark, and let the dust of your life settle. Ask yourself, think about your own life right now. What are you truly afraid of hearing when the noise finally stops? Is it really the absence of their voice you are running from? Or is it the sudden, undeniable presence of your own? Pause, breathe, sit quietly with the silence. Do not reach for a distraction. Let the heavy feeling rise without making it your identity. Let the quiet simply be quiet, without judging it as loneliness. You do not have to fill every empty second to feel safe. You can just let the mud settle. Let that sink in. Because peace is not found by drowning out the quiet with endless distraction. It is found by learning to sit softly inside it, completely unafraid. But once you learn to sit still, you begin to see that life itself never stops moving. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. The river of impermanence. What if the change you are fighting so desperately is actually the natural rhythm of life itself? Here is the truth few people want to face. You are suffering because you are demanding that life stand entirely still. When a long-standing relationship ends, your daily world feels shattered. You wake up on a Monday morning and dread the empty week stretching ahead. You long for the old routine, the predictable evening phone call, the shared weekend errands. You feel as though your life has been abruptly derailed, and every day you wake up trying to force the train back onto tracks that no longer exist. You feel hopelessly left behind, watching the rest of the world move forward while you remain anchored to a memory. In Buddhist thought, this struggle is the direct result of ignoring one of the most fundamental truths of existence: impermanence. Everything is in constant motion. Every relationship, every emotion, and every phase of life has a beginning, a middle, and an eventual end. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that suffering arises when we treat a temporary season as if it were a permanent destination. We try to freeze the frame. We build a rigid fortress around our daily comforts and expect them to withstand the test of time. But Buddhism reminds us that the nature of life is a river, not a static pond. Imagine standing waist-deep in a powerful, fast-moving river. The water is surging forward toward the ocean, carrying leaves, branches, and time itself. Now, imagine trying to stop the entire river with your bare hands. You plant your feet, brace your shoulders, and push violently against the massive weight of the current. You are exhausted, your muscles burn, you feel as though you are drowning, battered by the endless rush of water. But the river is not attacking you. The river is simply doing what rivers do. It is flowing. Your exhaustion does not come from the water. It comes from your impossible refusal to let it pass. This is what you are doing with your daily life right now. You are standing in the middle of a massive life transition, planting your feet and trying to push the current back to yesterday. You are fighting the reality that your routine has permanently changed. You are battered by the grief of eating dinner alone, the stress of sleeping on one side of the bed, and the heavy pressure to just feel comfortable again. You are fighting the river. Ask yourself, think about your own life. Are you exhausting your spirit trying to hold back the current of change? What would happen if you finally stopped pushing against the water and simply allowed it to carry you forward to a new destination? Pause. Breathe. Stop trying to fight the current. Observe the shift in your life without desperately trying to fix it. Let the feeling of uncertainty rise without making it your identity. You cannot force the river to flow backward. You do not have to conquer the change today. You just have to stop fighting it. Let that sink in. Because peace is not the absence of change. Peace is learning to float quietly on the water rather than drowning in the resistance. But accepting the flow of the river is only part of the journey. Once you stop fighting, You must intentionally decide how to move forward. And this is where the next truth begins. What if rebuilding your life is not about replacing what was lost, but about finally paying attention to what remains? Here is the truth few people want to face. You cannot build a peaceful new life using the broken blueprints of your old one. Right now, you are waking up and trying to force your day to fit the exact shape of a life that no longer exists. You cook the same meals, but only for one, and the kitchen feels hollow. You watch the same shows in the evening, but the room feels too large. You try to blindly copy and paste your old routine into your new reality, hoping it will somehow trick your heart into feeling safe again. But moving through your day like a ghost haunting your own life will only leave you feeling deeply exhausted. In Buddhist thought, we are taught the profound power of mindful action. We spend so much time either mourning the past or anxiously anticipating the future that we completely abandon the present moment. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that true rebuilding does not happen in grand, sweeping gestures. It happens in the quiet, intentional focus we bring to the simplest, most mundane acts of daily living. Whether it is washing a single bowl, sweeping a floor, or pouring a warm cup of tea, the gentle practice of mindfulness anchors the wandering spirit back into the body. Imagine a master potter whose favorite, most beautiful clay vessel has just shattered into 1,000 irrecoverable pieces. If the potter spends their days sitting in the dust, desperately trying to glue the tiny, jagged shards back together, they will only cut their hands. The old vase will never hold water again. But if the potter gently sweeps away the broken pieces, takes a lump of fresh, wet clay, and places it on the center of the wheel, everything changes. They do not rush. They place their hands firmly on the spinning earth, breathing softly, guiding the new shape upward with deep, slow intention. They are not trying to recreate the old vase. They are fully present in the birth of a new one. This is how you must approach your daily routine right now. You must stop trying to glue the jagged shards of your old mornings and evenings back together. Instead, take the fresh clay of your present life and center it. When you make your morning coffee, do not do it while agonizing over the silence. Feel the warmth of the mug in your hands. Listen to the sound of the water. When you walk down the street, feel the solid ground beneath your feet. Do not rush through your daily tasks just to get them over with. Ask yourself. Think about your own life. Are you treating your daily routine as a painful monument to what you lost, or as a quiet foundation for who you are becoming? Are you rushing through the empty spaces of your day just to escape them? Pause, breathe. Choose one simple act today. Making your bed, washing a single plate. Do it slowly. Observe the movement of your hands without comparing this moment to yesterday. Let the simple action anchor you exactly where you are. You do not have to have your entire life figured out by tomorrow. You only need to be awake for this one small step. Let that sink in, because peace is not found by frantically rushing to finish the walls of a new house. It is found by laying a single brick with absolute, quiet presence. But as you slowly rebuild your days, you will notice something much deeper shifting beneath the surface. You are not just reclaiming your time, and this is where the next truth begins. 7. Reclaiming your inner ground. What if the foundation you thought collapsed was actually just the scaffolding falling away? Here is the truth few people want to face. When a long relationship ends, it is not just the other person who disappears. You often feel like the version of yourself that existed with them has vanished too. You look around your quiet home and suddenly realize you do not even know what you want to do with a free afternoon. For so long, your preferences, your schedule, and your very identity were woven into someone else. You compromised, you adapted, and you blended your life until you forgot where they ended and you began. Now, you feel untethered. You are looking desperately for a place to land, for someone to tell you who you are and what to do next. You feel completely groundless. In Buddhist thought, we are taught that true refuge is never found in the external world. We spend our lives building our sense of self around outside conditions, our roles as partners, our relationships, and our routines. But Buddhism reminds us that all external conditions are subject to change. If your entire identity is tied to being someone's companion, you will naturally feel hollow when they leave. But the deep, quiet center of who you are, the witnessing awareness behind the thoughts and the grief, cannot be broken. When the external structures of your life fall away, you are not left with nothing. You are left with the unshakable truth of your own presence. Imagine a massive, ancient tree that has stood for decades, covered entirely in thick, heavy vines. For years, the vines bloomed with beautiful, vibrant flowers, wrapping so tightly around the trunk that you could no longer see the bark. Everyone who walked by praised the beauty of the vines, and eventually, even the tree forgot what it looked like beneath them. One harsh winter, a severe frost kills all the vines. They wither and fall to the ground. The tree stands completely bare. At first, it feels deeply exposed and ugly, but when the fierce, violent winds of spring finally arrive, the tree does not fall. It realizes that its deep roots and solid trunk were the only things holding it up all along. The vines were beautiful, but they were never the foundation. This is exactly what is happening to you right now. You mistook the beautiful vines of your relationship for your own strength. You thought you needed their presence to feel confident, to feel loved, to know how to navigate the heavy days. But their departure did not uproot you. It only stripped away the external layers. You are still standing. Every time you successfully navigate a quiet evening alone, every time you choose to make yourself a nourishing meal, every time you sit through a wave of panic and realize you survived it, you are discovering the solid wood of your own trunk. Ask yourself, think about your own life. Have you been giving someone else the credit for your own resilience? Are you truly broken, or are you just intimidated by the sheer strength of your own roots? Pause, breathe, feel the steady rhythm of your own heart. Observe the feeling of standing alone without immediately labeling it as loneliness. Let the sensation of your own independence rise without letting fear pull it back down. You are your own refuge. You do not need to look outside yourself for a place to land. You are already standing on solid ground. Let that sink in, because true peace is not found by finding someone new to lean on. It is found by realizing you never actually needed a crutch to begin with. But standing firmly in your own truth requires you to release the heavy weight of how you got here. And this is where the next truth begins. 8. Forgiving the past and yourself. What if the resentment you are holding onto is the very anchor keeping you from moving forward? Here is the truth few people want to face. You cannot build a peaceful tomorrow if you are constantly at war with yesterday. As you try to reconstruct your daily routine, you find your mind continuously slipping backward. You sit quietly with your morning tea, but instead of tasting the warmth, you are violently arguing with a ghost. You replay the final days. You blame them for breaking the familiar foundation you built together. And even heavier, you blame yourself. You feel foolish for giving so much of your comfort and identity to someone else. You are carrying a tremendous, crushing weight of regret into every single day, hoping that if you just analyze the past enough, it will somehow change the outcome. In Buddhist thought, holding on to anger and resentment is often compared to grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the only one who gets burned. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that forgiveness is not about validating the actions of another, nor is it about erasing the past. It is the deep, conscious practice of untying the heavy ropes of resentment. We suffer because we refuse to pardon others for their imperfections, and we stubbornly refuse to pardon ourselves for not knowing better. But true peace requires radical compassion. It requires you to release the heavy burden of wishing the past had been different. Imagine a traveler climbing a steep, quiet mountain. In their backpack, they carry a heavy stone for every mistake they made, and a heavy stone for every time they were wronged. With each step, the journey becomes more agonizing. The traveler is exhausted, their shoulders bruising under the weight of the straps. They look at the beautiful, serene peak above them, but believe they are simply too weak to reach it. But the traveler is not weak. They are simply carrying the mountain on their back, instead of climbing it. To reach the top, they do not need stronger legs. They just need to stop, open the bag, and leave the stones by the side of the path. This is exactly what you are doing with your life right now. You are dragging the heavy stones of regret, blame, and anger into your new mornings. You are exhausted by the massive effort it takes to hate the way things ended. You punish yourself for the time you lost, and you punish them in your mind for leaving you to rebuild alone. But the relationship is over. The past is already gone. The only place the conflict still survives is entirely within your own mind. You are burning your own hands. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, is this endless anger protecting you, or is it simply exhausting you? What would happen if you finally opened your hands and let the hot coal fall to the ground? Pause, breathe, drop the stones. Observe the heavy feeling of regret without trying to solve it. Let the anger rise, and then gently give it permission to leave. You do not have to carry the mistakes of yesterday into the quiet of today. Forgive yourself for loving deeply. Forgive yourself for trusting. Let that sink in, because true freedom is not found by winning an argument with the past. It is found by softly closing the door on it. But once the past is forgiven, the open space of your life transforms into something completely different. And this is where the final truth begins. 9. The freedom of a new dawn. What if the empty space you have been terrified of is actually the exact space where your true life is waiting? To begin? In the beginning, the quiet mornings and the broken routines felt like a heavy, unbearable punishment. You stared at the empty side of the bed, the silent phone, and the deeply unstructured weekends, feeling as though you had lost your very foundation. You thought you were mourning a specific soul. You thought the aching weight in your chest was love trying to find its way back to a familiar home. But now, you can see the profound truth hidden beneath the pain. You were grieving the loss of a pattern. You were mourning the absence of a cage, simply because you had forgotten you had wings. The comfort they represented was only a temporary shelter. The true foundation was always beneath your own feet. In Buddhist thought, the end of one cycle is simply the necessary condition for the birth of another. When we finally stop fighting the river of impermanence, we realize that the current is not trying to drown us. It is trying to carry us to a wider, deeper ocean. The pain of detachment slowly transforms into the profound peace of pure presence. You no longer need to force a broken piece of yesterday into the quiet space of today. By releasing your desperate grip on the illusion of control, you make room for a reality that is far more expansive than the one you left behind. Imagine a small, quiet room where the heavy curtains have been tightly closed for years. You relied entirely on a single beautiful candle to give you light and warmth. You arranged your entire life around the glow of that one flame. When that candle suddenly burns out, you are plunged into complete darkness. You sit on the floor, weeping over the melted wax, terrified because the only light you knew is gone. But eventually, the tears stop. You slowly stand up in the dark. You walk to the wall. You reach out and pull back the heavy curtains, and you realize it is morning. The room is instantly flooded with the infinite golden light of the sun. The candle was beautiful, yes, but keeping the curtains closed to protect its flame was the very thing keeping you from seeing the dawn. This is the beautiful reality of your life right now. You are pulling back the curtains. When you wake up tomorrow and pour your morning coffee, the silence will no longer be a heavy void. It will be a blank canvas. The quiet of your apartment will no longer feel like abandonment. It will feel like a deep, uninterrupted sanctuary. Every time you consciously build a new routine, every time you choose to sit in the stillness without panic, and every time you walk through your day with gentle intention, you are letting the infinite light in. You are no longer acting as a ghost, haunting your own past. You are a living, breathing testament to the power of letting go. Think about your own life. Look at how far you have already come. You have survived the breaking of your comfort. You have survived the deafening silence. You have stopped fighting the river, and you have finally realized that you do not need anyone else to carry your weight. Pause. Breathe. Feel the steady, unshakable strength in your own body. You do not need to have the rest of your life figured out today. You only need to meet this exact moment with a quiet, open heart. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. You can let go now.